This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve in Lawfield. Such a beautiful sunrise. Where all you see, it's actually beauty of the background. And welcome aboard to your very own live safari through the African bush. Good morning everybody. Again, welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve here in Sabisent. We're in Lawfield, but the beauty about that right now, it's just the sunrise. It's quite interesting, beautiful. There's quite a lot of foggy back there, but it looks like it's going to be all okay during the course of the day. My name is Andrew. On camera I have Simon this morning, so we came to this high point ground just to be able to see the witness of beautiful of a sunrise. Well, it looks like it's actually open sky. We're in Tswalu right now. It's raining, so the one going to be joining right now, maybe later on when the rain settle down. But we're in a dry land right now, not knowing what's going to happen in the next couple of hours. Maybe it's going to change also. The temperature of today, 23 degrees Celsius, 73 Fahrenheit. Remember, we're coming to you live this morning from this location. We will be much happy to hear from you. Through questions and comments, you can send them if you register on World Earth website and head over to live safari page, and you can submit your questions there and comments. We'll be taking them from there live for you. Beautiful trees out there, all the marula trees that you can see, and it's all dead quiet still. And you can still talk to us on Twitter, hashtag World Earth, as well as on YouTube channel, which is at FC. If you're under the age, you can still use kids' questions at worldearth.tv. Just to take a little bit of a one. So you're saying the sunrise is such a beautiful. It is indeed beautiful, and like I just, if you look slightly below right or left down, and you can see the fog is still developed. Well, fabulous back there. I'm gonna take this maybe moment of a silence, just a little bit, listen to the sounds. Well, it's so beautiful. So my plan this morning, I know I left the dog yesterday, those are with me, or on the shore yesterday evening. So we have to leave the dog because then it was getting dark, we couldn't stick with him. But I'm gonna go back to check the last position where we left them. And then if nothing there, I think they will be moved. But then we're gonna be following up on them to see if they will be any closer around in the property again. So this is my plan this morning. Probably had a long night if they ever have to move from there. But then they probably had to wait for the full moon so that they can do the moving around at night, which they won't hunt too much like a midday. That's what maybe. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to be sending you across to Marne with something very nice to show and say hi to everybody.
Good morning, welcome to Ngala, where we are once again in the riverbed. And an elephant bull decided to join us. Quite a lovely scene. Sun's just starting to come up in the background. My name is Marna and with me on camera is BK. So this is quite I'm actually glad that he decided to cross this section of the riverbed. We just found some fresh lion tracks crossing the riverbed right here, actually just behind us. And we thought that we heard some contact calling in this area here. So if these lions are hiding amongst the bushes around here, then we will find out soon as he crosses onto that bank. Lions will normally give way when elephants move through an area. It's pretty much the only thing that'll chase them off. Now we checked the den site where that female with the newest youngsters, where she was seen yesterday, and we saw tracks coming from that area heading in this direction. So she might have potentially moved the youngsters further along the riverbed. And like I said, we also found tracks of the rest of the pride. So they all might be in here somewhere. Not wise for me to go walk around there, especially if there's a denning lioness. So our plan was to loop around and just check on the road that runs parallel to the riverbed to see if we can find any signs of them there. Oh, he's found some nice grass to feed on. We're going to continue along the riverbed and we're going to send you off to Djeveld.
Welcome to Beyond Pinna Private Game Reserve, where we have been met with this beautiful setting this morning as we came over a little rise. The clouds and sun and everything just beautiful this morning, and you can even listen to the birds calling. Everyone is waking up, and we came into this particular area to look for a leopard, because we heard some alarm calls from the mountains and there was a leopard last seen in this area. But there in the distance you can see the almost like mountains on the horizon. That is actually some coastal dune forests, or coastal dunes that are covered in forest, and just on the other side is the Indian Ocean. So we are right on the eastern side of South Africa. So Such a beautiful, beautiful vista in front of us. But my name is Dewald, and behind the camera we've got Odie, and we are gonna see if we can head into a different area at some point this morning and look for some lions. But obviously those alarm calls made us come into this area and find this beautiful, beautiful setting. Like in the bush, a lot of things can change your plans, and those alarm calls changed our plan a little bit. But we will be heading in the direction to go look for some lions a little bit later on. And while we're sitting here, Odie and I were just having a sip of coffee as well. And what a beautiful setting to start the morning. I'm gonna be keeping on looking for this leopard with these alarm calls, but then we are gonna send you over to Lauren, where she's got her favorite animal.
Good morning, everyone. We do have a hyena. Oh, Ribbon. Sorry, everyone, I'm astonished. We're not at the den. We're not too far away from the den, but the den was inactive, so we decided to start our search for any other animal. And they're in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, my name is Lauren. I do have Davy on camera, and there's another hyena there as well. We found the two of them. But unfortunately, that other hyena has walked off, so I don't immediately have a view of the other hyena. But Ribbon, why are you here? Why are you not at the den? Oh, okay. Ugh, that looks like a good scratch. So I'm sure you've been told already, but please do talk to us. Please send in your wonderful questions that make us think and your lovely comments. We're on a road called Elephant Carcass. Some people call it Elephant Skull, but you get the point. And they were just sleeping, the two of them. I wonder if it was in Tima. Okay, Ribbon's still limping, isn't she? A little bit, but it's not so bad. I don't think we're going to follow her off roads, because hyenas do not walk in a straight line. But what we can do is go along the road ourselves and see if they pop out at the other side. Victor, you're saying the hyenas are wandering around a lot lately. Ribbon is wandering around a lot. Hyenas generally do, Victor. Very mobile animals. We just see them at the den sleeping. But they can travel up to 70 kilometers at night time just in search for food. It's completely normal. She will be at the carcass if she smells one, like she was with Chingana. She will wander at night time, but we just get lucky seeing them at the den, really. They're very, very mobile animals. The wanderers. They never have a plan when they're walking. It's always a case of, I think Davy sees her. Huh. It's always a case of follow the nose. Oh, she's looking much better. Quickly over to Pridelands.
Right, so we've just found this lioness. She is amongst the middle of this herd of impala on Impala Plains, and she's doing the strangest stuff. She was just basically running up and down, chasing after these impalas left and right. I don't know if she's just desperate for food or if she's trying to catch a lamb. But you can see she's just gone behind this African wattle at the moment. Hi everyone, my name is Mike Anderson. Behind the camera is Geert, and you joined us at Ecotraining's Pridelands Conservancy, where, as I said, this is super strange behavior. In this open clearing, this lioness is just literally chasing after the impalas. She's just gone behind a thicket at the moment. I'm going to try and see if I can move her slightly just to get a slightly better view. She's right behind that thicket at the moment. Give me 1 second. Okay, she should be somewhere In the background there, just behind where all those impalas are looking right now, you can hear the sound of them. They're just going crazy. I think she's using the cover of that one bush right there where all these impalas are looking to wait for these impalas to calm down. But that's amazing. I mean, it's incredible that she can just sit there with all these impalas just alarming at her like this. We've been driving around and around here. Marianne, I agree. I mean, it's mad. When we were trying to get into a vehicle position, she was literally just making these short, sharp dashes at these impalas. Listen to the sound. Can you see it, Gert? I can't see her anymore. She's got to be there amongst those two bushes there. She's just lying flat on the ground. Look, there's an impala lamb all by itself, running across. Oh, I thought she might have been... Looks like that lamb got separated from the rest of the group. That would have actually been a perfect opportunity for her. I wonder why she didn't go for it. All the impala are starting to move off now. Let's just see if she breaks cover. So there's impalas from every angle looking. I'm going to try and see if I can get closer again. No, in fact, I'm not going to move. I don't want to disturb the scene that's happening. When Gert and I were getting the vehicle ready, we heard Monkey's alarm calling and we found a lion track. And we drove round and around looking for her. And then the impalas went mental. They seem to be alarming less now. I mean, they surely still see this lioness there amongst those two bushes. But she's just gone to ground now because she realized that she lost the element of surprise. She didn't catch a lamb, which is what I'm assuming she'd be chasing after in that open clearing. There she comes out, there she comes out. She's still got her eye on where that lamb was running. That was surely one of the most exciting starts to my morning I've had in a long time here at Pride Lands. Darcy Ann, I think it might be Lagatha. Now, we haven't gotten close enough to have a look at her because we literally just noticed her from a distance. But if she's got a scar above her right eye, then it would be her. So I'm going to have a look now to see if I can spot with my binoculars if she's got a scar. But it matches the description. I mean, a single lioness dashing after impalas in an open clearing like this is typical of her behavior because she's just this fearless lioness that just goes for absolute to the wall whenever she hunts. It's just a bit far. Just a little far for me to see, but she's got her eye on something behind. I don't know if there's another vehicle coming, or if she knows that some impalas were scattered into those thickets behind. She's definitely going towards that area. Bit of an open patch there. I wonder if maybe there's a bit of an impala midden. What is she going to do next? Oh, she's yawning. I think she's tried her luck. I don't think she's managed to obviously be successful. Obviously, she's still interested in walking. At this point now, she's probably just hoping for one impala lamb that's gone to ground, hiding, that's going to pop up as she gets a bit close to it. Because you see how she's just walking head up in the grass, every now and again sniffing. What will sometimes happen is when there's danger, the lambs will just lie down flat to the ground whilst the mother runs off. Well, she's walking towards us again. She's walking towards these impalas. She's just trying to confuse them, I think. Look at her. She's intent. Interesting. She doesn't look extremely hungry. It doesn't look like she's desperate for food, but she's acting like she's desperate. Look how she's cut off. Half the impalas have gone to her right, and she's cut off the herd on the left. Now, the herd on the left is mostly rams. Not too many lambs in that group, not too many young ones. So it seems an odd choice, but then again, you make the most of your situation, I suppose. See how all the rams stand up proud and tall, forward, watching, alarming. The alarming has two uses. One, obviously letting all the other impalas know that we've spotted danger, watch out. The second is telling this lioness, listen, you've lost the element of surprise. You no longer have a chance to catch us unawares, so don't waste your energy. Leave us alone. And there she goes, lying down in the grass. She's going to wait now, I suppose, until these impalas move a short way away, relax, and maybe she'll try again. Well, that was just incredible. And look at her now, she's invisible. I mean, any impala walking along, if they didn't already know she was there, it would be really easy for them to walk straight past her. They couldn't smell her or hear her. They certainly wouldn't see her. Phenomenal camouflage. We drove right past here, Gert and I, this morning. We literally said she might come to this clearing. We drove past, we saw all the impalas, and the impalas were actually standing right to the edge of the thickets. So she obviously dashed forward and tried to catch one. Unsuccessfully, unfortunately. The impalas live to fight another day. This lioness has to make another plan. She just literally put her head up, and all these impalas to the right of us just dashed off. And most of the ones to the right of us are the youngsters. So we'll stick around here. We're certainly not going to be going anywhere. We would love to see how this develops.
We've arrived at one of my favorite pans and it's just starting to get active. So I thought we'd give you a lovely moment or two to listen to the sounds of the bush. They're so noisy, aren't they? And they're not even in full swing. Just wanted to give you some magical sounds from the bush.
Yeah. Alright, so it was the weirdest thing. A hyena came out of nowhere, I mean, straight away, and just went straight to the lioness, and the lioness chased it. I thought she was going to catch the hyena. She got very close, and immediately when the lion's attention was off the impalas, all the male impalas started running around and doing the rutting sound. that really deep, like throaty roar, and are flaring all their tails and running in circles. Now you can see the hyena is here watching intently that lioness. The lioness is just behind some thickets for us. I can see her, but I don't think from where the camera is that it will catch her. But it was the most interesting thing that, the hyena probably didn't know the lion was there. We saw the amazing camouflage, and as soon as it got close enough, this lioness rushed out. And a hyena is a powerful animal, and a single lioness that's probably quite young is really acting more like Lagatha the more we watch her. So it really could be our brave lioness. We haven't seen her for a while. We've been seeing her tracks up and down. It's all happening here. It's very exciting. So you can see the hyena seems to be losing its interest now on this lioness. It seems to be wanting to leave. And there's no food there. The lion wants to eat it, so why stick around? Let's leave it alone. That's really amazing. So the lioness is still just behind some thickets, just in there, Gert, right in there. You might just be able to see her. If you punch in, you'll see the shape of her head behind that forked branch, just to the right. Yeah, there she is. You can see she's just waiting right in there. She's very active, very aggressively chasing things around and being a tough lion. Any lion living on its own has to be tough. And all is now peaceful. I see the impalas starting to feed again, moving back to where they were. So it's the opportunity for the lion to stay exactly as it is, in the shade, hiding behind these thickets, and wait for a better opportunity. Reset. Right. We're going to change our position and move somewhere where we can see this lioness a bit better. In the meantime, we'll send you over to Andrew, who's got a very fast predator.
Thank you very much. So here, there's a big carnivore out there, which is a lion. Here we got our dog again. And it's amazing that since we left them yesterday, they only move a little bit. And then it's like 45 meters away from where they were, but it's still in this wood. And they're still taking it easy around here. But they're all okay because they're all gathering around. We've seen a few of them together, and again, they just vanish into these grasses. Where I believe there was not such a chance for them to hunt yesterday. They probably spent all night in this area. If the hunt is going to take place, probably this morning. As you're saying, you love to see the puppy stalls in this space. That's very good things. It's so cool when they raise a baby, get to the slightly bigger puppies and they still survive. It's so good. And maybe that's why they don't want to move too much, because they don't want to push too much, a lot of pressures in this young one to take a long distance move. So I'm gonna stay put here. In the meantime, I will be sending you across to Ngala for another predators to shore.
Welcome back to Ngala. So we have found the lions. You can hear them roaring in the background, and just trying to get a better view of them. It was just a bit of a fight going on. Excuse me. You joined us at just the right time. There we go. All right, watch that male and the female. So the two females that we have in front of us here are the two older lionesses, the two lead lionesses. And that male has been following that female very, very closely. That might be that she could be an estrus, and that is why he's acting like this. And this is incredible. It seems like most of the members of the Pride are here this morning. They're moving very quickly through really long grass, so we've been trying to keep up with them. Asserting his dominance there. We've been watching him scent mark as he's been walking, and his brother is following. He's right at the back of the Pride, and we also spotted the younger male. And for those of you that know the Birmingham Pride, you'll know that there's a 4.5 to 5-year-old male that should not be in the Pride. Oh, and he's actually right behind us. That's why this male is approaching us at the moment. Yeah, that female must be an estrus. Now, if any of these other males come closer, there will be another fight. I'm sure of it. You can see he's keeping his eyes on this young male that's passing right behind us now. Molly is saying this is definitely a predator's morning. Molly, I agree. What an incredible feeling. We were sitting with that elephant and we thought we heard the contact calls, and then just as you left us, the lion started roaring on the other side of the riverbed. So we raced around. And we were very happy that we found so many of them. Now the two white lions, they're also around, and a bunch of the youngsters. He wants to lay down, but he also wants to keep an eye on that other male. That's quite funny. Yo, it is so nice seeing especially these males on the move. You know, a lot of the times when we find them, they're just on their backs sleeping. So it's really nice to find them so early in the morning. As they've been moving through this clearing, we've just been hearing herbivores' alarm call, a lot of impalas and kudus alarming. Some elephants calling in the background there as well. But they're clearly on a different mission. You know, like I said, they've been moving very, very quickly. Elizabeth saying he is so beautiful. Elizabeth, especially when he's got his eyes open, eh? And his head up. He really is beautiful. But like I said, they've been walking straight past impalas and all kinds of things, but they haven't been looking in their direction even, so they're on a different mission. It doesn't look like they've fed recently. I was looking at their bellies. Some of them looked well-rounded, but there are quite a few of them that look like they could use a meal. So I'm not sure exactly where they're heading. Maybe towards a bit of water. It's not really like they would be hunting at this stage. What a beautiful shot there with the lioness lifting her head as well. If you have a look at her ears, you'll notice that she's missing a lot of hair on the edge of the ear. So you can tell that she's quite an old lioness. Notice all the scars on his face. You'll see if you look at his nose, you'll notice all those scars and wounds. All right, well, we're going to stick with him, and we're going to be sending you off to Andrew with his wild dogs.
Thanks, Marna. Yes, we still got these dogs here, and some of them kind of like move out of the bush and then run back to the bush, as you can see. But it's probably because of the weather now. Is it slightly cloud? It's coming from the east, where it's not actually blue sky totally anymore, as we thought it will be. So that probably brings more chance for these dogs to be able to exercise their strategies, hunt around about. But this is actually a very woody area. If they're going to do that hunt, they're going to have to move back to quarantine, or south, north from here slightly, where there's slightly open area. Somehow they're going to go hungry, they're going to have to move and hunt. Oh, there's a hyena coming from the background. Looks like we've got a visitor here. It looks like we've got a hyena coming from, well, it's not actually visual anymore. Or they haven't realized there's a hyena around here because they won't cooperate then. Always when two predators or two scavengers, two different species are around together, it's all about one to steal from one another. Okay, we're gonna move forward a bit. To see if we can able to get a slightly more visual. Looks like we've got a whole these puppies there all gathering. This is so cool, you know. This is probably the night they spend combined for providing a warmer in the middle of the night when the temperature drops so high. And these puppies still rely on their mother, and a whole pack over here. For them to hunt for them. But they involve in eating. So I'm going to stay put here while we've got this position for these dogs. Then I'm going to be sending you across to Lauren with something small, colorful to show.
I can't actually believe how lucky we are right now, but we've managed to get this elegant grasshopper, who's alive, by the way, on our vehicle. He's just attached on a blade of grass. And you can see here, I'm going to put my porcupiner behind it. Don't jump away though, just to give you a size indication. They are large. They're still insects, of course, but they are large. Now look at the head. Let's focus on the head first. You can see the two antennae, colored sort of orange and black. Gorgeous. Halloween colors, I think. And then you can come down to see that specialized eye. Now this is all the sort of sensory processing happening in the head. Look, using his antennas to sense where he is. Where am I? What's happening? So the head is actually quite small, but it contains a sensory processing unit from the eyes as well. And then you can see on the back here, just this part here, I'm not going to touch on the yellow part. The next segment is the transport center. And that's where the wings are actually attached. They do have wings, they're just not very well developed. The females are far more developed. And then all 6 legs, believe it or not, will be attached to that transport center. You can see the first 2 legs are just normal insect legs. But then that last set, the hind legs, are very, very well developed. Then you can see the stripy section of the body. That's the largest part of the body, and it's the abdomen. Insects are segmented, all insects. And that abdomen contains the reproductive organs and the digestive organs, and that's why it's the largest part of the body. So they can walk, but of course if they've got enough energy, they can spring into the air and actually cover about 20 lengths of their own body in one hop. And that's by using these specialized muscles that are in the hind legs. So when they fly, it's not very elegant, even although they're called elegant grasshoppers. And it's rather clumsy when they land. They've not really got sort of any form of landing correctly. The females have wings, better developed wings, in order to go seek the males. So these elegant grasshoppers are everywhere at the minute. Isn't it beautiful? You can even see the detail of the segmented legs. So you can see there's sort of an elbow joint. Now it's not the elbow, I'm just making a comparison to the human anatomy. Then you can see there's a sort of ankle joint, and then there's a very flexible foot. So they are able to walk. But once they've got energy, it's just easy for them to jump, hop, grasshoppers. Now, it's very complicated, the difference between grasshoppers and locusts, and I struggle to understand it as well sometimes. But generally speaking, locusts are grasshoppers, but they're in a sort of more gregarious form. They swarm, and it's normally, you get 2 different types of grasshoppers, longhorned and shorthorned. It's normally the shorthorns that sort of aggregate into becoming locusts. So biologically, they're very, very similar. And if you really want to get down to it, locusts just are grasshoppers. But they have a different social structure, and it's normally the short-horned grasshoppers that will then be termed locusts when they start to aggregate and sort of form a swarm if you like. Biologically, they're really not that different. Sorry, I've just forgotten that comment. I completely forgot it. Renee, what a cool little dude he is. Yes. I love them. But they don't really have much control over their jumping. So they'll jump, they'll spring into the air, and it's normally always in the direction that they're facing. But if a gust of wind comes, or maybe the direction wasn't quite correct, they can land in your cars, they can land in your face, just like a flying fish. They can power themselves up, but then they don't really have much control over the direction that they're moving. Look at that hind leg, you see it? I don't know where he's deciding to go. I think he's getting camera shy. Come on, Mr. Grasshopper. Everybody wants to see you because you're so marvelous. Look at that foot just clinging on here. Okay, let me see if I can find out what he's doing. Yay, you see? Way, and off we go. And that's exactly how grasshoppers escape predators, by hopping off like that. So I will make sure that he gets back onto the grass. He'll hop back onto the grass, being a grasshopper, and we'll let him be in his own little environment. That was such a wonderful little moment. Love getting close to insects. So for now, we're going to send you across the Deelwild and see what he has for you.
We are coming into a big open rolling grassland area where we are looking for some cheetah and lion, and we came across some lanner falcons that was flying in between some trees. And there's just one sitting right at the top there now. I don't know if I'm identifying them correctly, but it does look like a lanner falcon from here. It's a little bit far away, but I can see that rufous coloration on the head and the cheek and the yellow bill and yellow legs. And they were actually chasing each other a little bit, and there was about 3 of them in the area, and this one is just perching on this dead tree here for a moment.
Good morning.
Probably coming into this open grassland for hunting of some of the smaller invertebrates and also some small rodents or whatever they can find that's feeding on some grass seeds, or like the falcons do, maybe go for small birds also. Look at the beautiful sun coming onto it now as well. Sun just poking through the clouds that we've got above us. Such a beautiful morning, and it's relatively cool, but with the sun coming through the clouds now, I can feel the warmth already. They are fairly common in the area. It's quite weird to see 3 of them together here, and because they are quite often in pairs, these lanner falcons. So I wonder what that was about. Christopher Freak, you saying that you love falcons. They are such awesome birds to see, and it's always nice to see them. To be honest, like, we don't see them, the falcons and stuff here too often. Like, you have to really keep a lookout for them. And these lanner falcons, being in these nice open grassland and woodland areas, they are so nice to see. And there is quite a few other animals in the area, so we're gonna stick around here and see what else we can find and what we can get on camera for you, and keep on going for a little bit.
For the month of January 2021, we are offering a chance to win a unique Wild Earth expedition to the magnificent Tswalu Kalahari. From the ancient Kortai's Koranenberg Mountains to the southern Kalahari's red sand dunes, Tswalu offers what travelers crave most: space and time. The winner will explore this landscape in a vehicle, on foot, or on horseback, with a chance to go behind the scenes with Wild Earth and of course meet the meerkats. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend at the luxury Motse Lodge, including flights from either Johannesburg or Cape Town. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply. The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari.
My name is James Hendry, and I work here at Tswalu Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands on the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park. My favorite part of getting questions from viewers is that we get to have long and varied discussions about all sorts of different aspects of nature. Because our audience comes from all over the world, it's very special to have different perspectives from everywhere. If you want to submit a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to the Live Safari page and submit your question beneath the live feed.
So as you can see, this lioness is still sitting in the same spot. She's moved slightly to look towards where the impala have moved. Now, it's very interesting. She wasn't paying them much attention. She seemed to have given up on the hunt, and then the male impala started to make that rutting sound, that roaring, and she obviously realized that they were not paying attention to her anymore. She got interested again. But she's not in a good position, unfortunately. The wind is blowing almost directly towards the impalas, which is something the impalas have done on purpose. They've moved so they can smell her at all times and know exactly where she is, so she cannot approach them without them realizing it. If she has to, or if she wants to hunt them, she'll have to move a long way around this open clearing and come up behind the impalas, which will most likely mean that they see her moving and then they'll just move themselves. So she's in a bit of a tricky spot. I doubt very much that she's going to try and hunt these impalas again in this open clearing. I think she will have to move. We've had a bit of a closer look at her, and I must say I'm still inconclusive about who exactly she is. I think it's Lagatha, but last time I saw Lagatha, she had a big scar over her right eye. Now, whether maybe that scar has healed and we just can't see it very clearly, I don't know. Maybe it was fresh and so it was looking a bit more aggressive. But it's definitely a young lioness. It's got a pink nose and quite a spotted undercoat. So I'm almost certain that it is Lagatha. It's very unusual for there to be two lionesses moving about on their own. Two young lionesses. But you can see now starting to rest. It's getting warmer. It's getting sunnier. And so she's most likely going to take this time to rest and let these impalas relax and maybe go and sit somewhere in a drainage line or amongst the rocks at the edge of this clearing and wait for them to move into a better position for her to hunt. Danny agreed completely. Absolutely gorgeous lioness. Still with a nice smooth coat, lots of muscle. Not too many scratches and scars. There's a bit of a wound on her side, which you can just about see there. A dark patch, be from a scratch or maybe even a horn from an impala. She's a younger, less experienced lioness, looking down quite intently towards the sort of south and eastern part of the clearing. There might be more impalas moving into the clearing from the drainage line, which would be in a good position for her. She can use the tree line for cover. So you can see the trees at the distance there. That's the edge of the clearing. There's a bit of a drainage line there, which is where she hid when she first chased these impalas. Now, we didn't see that, but we saw her soon after. And she was dashing back and forth and up and down. She chased a hyena. So clearly quite frustrated at missing an opportunity that was probably quite a good one. I mean, when Gert and I first saw the impala, they were basically scattered all along the edge of this drainage line. We didn't see her when she must have been hiding right next to us when we drove past the area looking for her. I'm glad we didn't see her, in actual fact, because she is not as relaxed as some other lionesses I've seen. And so if we'd have seen her before she hunted and stopped and said, "Oh, there's a lion," and sat with her, there's every chance that we might have just interrupted a bit of the hunting. So by not seeing her, we actually meant we didn't interfere at all with the hunt. So that's fantastic. Not that she was successful, but that was down to some sort of misgiving of her own. So she's still going to wait around. She's still interested. She still might get up and move somewhere else. I don't think she's going to stay here in this clearing, but in the meantime, we'll send you over to Andrew with his own predators.
Thank you very much, Mike. So now all we see here, it's all puppies. We still got them. And yeah, another one coming from the way distances. It's one of the adult. But these one are all just grouped up together in that floor. It's all puppies there. Looks like all separate from the rest of the other adults. But at least cool, it's at least better visual than yesterday, where we were able to see most of them there. Where yesterday there were only one by one that move around and lie down in tall grass. It surprises me that I haven't actually shown any interest of moving around or running around at all. So they're probably going to be here until they decided to move. So Julia is saying that cuddly puddle. Yeah, they are cute little puppies over there. And then I'll just take it easy, because now there is no such activities here is happening, and they're all enjoying the temperature there, where they have been in a little shade. So probably the sun will rise up to that. They'll probably move to another shade again. Then they're probably going to move into a thicket if they're going to move to that spot. So it's got to be the pair which is dominating the packs, whole packs over here. And when they don't want to move, they're probably going to stay here, because then they're going to have to listen to them. The only one comes to hunt, everybody is involved, no dominees in terms of hunting. So everybody's doing their own except for the puppies. And they have to wait back there or follow from their way far distances. And once the prey species is down, they're all gonna involve in it, cooperate and tear it apart. So the feeding methods here. So I'm gonna stay put. I'm going to be sending you across to Dievold with his Daka boy, the buffalo.
We have a herd of buffalo that's here around us. and there's actually a cow that's been standing and giving Odie and I some amazing views, and it's so interesting. Let's just see, there she turns her head. Look at the little guarri branch also that's stuck in between her ear and her horn. She's got some beautiful jewelry on this morning, and that is probably from going and scratching her horn and behind her ears into that bush to try and get to an itch. You can just imagine all the ticks and everything that's sitting around the edge of that horn, around the base of the horn, and trying to get that itch, and then that little piece of branch just broke off and is now stuck in between her ear and horn, giving us some beautiful photos, and she's got a bit of grass in her mouth as well. So interesting, and you can see how full of mud she is as well. So she's been wallowing in the mud maybe not too long ago, and there she's lost interest in us, and she's actually starting to feed a bit. But there's quite a bit of zebras in the background as well. There's been some interesting interaction between two stallions that are fighting the whole time and biting each other, trying to figure out the hierarchy between them and trying to keep each other away from their females. Megan, you're saying that Buffalo was making a fashion statement. Indeed she was. Only problem is that jewelry will not last forever. It will probably fall out later on. I can imagine it must be quite irritating having something stuck there in between her ears and her horns. Might try and get it out pretty soon. It's like all of the buffalo just all of a sudden have all decided to start moving around a little bit more and started feeding a bit and started moving. There's a tiny little calf that's lying down behind its mother there as well. Quite a few very small youngsters around, but they disappear so quickly in the long grass or so. And then there's a big bull that's here in front of us as well. Oh, he's just looking at us there. And another big bull right in the back with very little hair on his shoulders. All of them have a lot of mud all over their backs from wallowing. Wonder if they are slowly feeding towards some water. Dizzy, you say they seem friendly and aggressive at the same time. Not too sure about that. They seem like they are very relaxed to be around the vehicle. Yeah, they're not really interested in us. All of them feeding. I think the fact that we haven't moved around for a while plays a big role. Just sitting quietly and not moving around too much. But these buffalo are enjoying the cool morning and trying to feed as much as possible before it heats up too much. But the direction that they're feeding in, slowly but surely, is in the direction of a little pan that might have a little bit more mud for them to cool down later on, and maybe they'll head towards that little pan to go for a drink as well. They're really enjoying this long, lush grass, especially around the little bushes or so. Oh, there is actually a bird of some sort. Its head is sticking out above the grass. It does look like a heron, actually. It's quite weird seeing it out in the open grassland like this. Well spotted, Odie. Wow. Might look like a black-headed heron. Looks like a black-headed heron. It's difficult to see. I could just see his beak sticking out there. He's coming out a little bit more. Probably moving around these buffalo, feeding on the insects that they might be disturbing in the long grass. I indeed think it is a black-headed heron. What colour is that bill there? Let's have a look. Yeah, greyish bill. I'm looking at the dark coloration on the neck, back of the neck and the head. Black-headed heron. Wow, very interesting to see it move around between some buffalo. Look at that, just coming across now. And just like the cattle egrets, the western cattle egrets that will be around the buffalo to feed on some insects, they're also coming here for that. Maybe there's some patches of water that's somewhere around here that they might be interested in as well. Oh, and I can see at least two more. Interesting, the longer I've been sitting and watching this area, the more I can see. There's at least three black-headed herons in this area. Some of these buffalo actually coming a little bit closer now. There's actually three young bulls that are just here next to the road, and there's two of them that's pushing their horns against each other a bit. Getting a little bit playful. You can see these are bulls just because of how thick set the horns are, and they've got that boss or helmet on their head compared to the females that don't, but the females still have horns. The one's lost interest a bit, or just getting around the bush. And look at this one opening his mouth. He's doing a phlegm grimace, just testing the air bit. And look at that one's got a red-billed oxpecker on his head, on his face. So there it's just gone to the one that was doing the phlegm grimace. Look at that. Beautiful contrast on the buffalo with that bird and his red bill. So he's going to the nostril trying to pick at some of the ticks that might be around there. And there he's going straight up into the ear. Look at that. That red-billed oxpecker has been flying around in between the buffaloes, but it seems like all the buffalo are chasing him away. Oh, there's the little youngster that's up and about now. He was lying down earlier. His mom probably started moving a bit and he thought, okay, he needs to get going. Look how cute that is. Seems like he wants to suckle, but Mom's not really giving him a chance. There we go, through Mom's back legs. Also full of mud. Mom's moving too fast for him. Still trying to wake up, it seems. Looks like they're all crossing the road now. I think there is a little pan that's just off to the right-hand side that they might be heading to. Bit of a sneeze there. Lee, you're asking how big a buffalo herd can get. So as far as buffalo herds go, this one is actually very small. It depends on the availability of food and everything like that. But in areas like Botswana and even in the Kruger National Park, in certain times of the year when there's concentrated water or only a little bit of water in areas or so, buffalo herds can go over 1,000 individuals. So herds of buffalo can get massive. There's another youngster crossing the road with his mom just behind him. Come on, Mom. They are so cute. But while these buffalo are moving across, we're going to see if we can keep an eye on them. We are going to send you over to Andrew that has got some animals that are not too keen to wake up just yet.
Indeed, thanks, Diebold. Good luck with those buffaloes. Yeah, sure that they don't want to be awake now, but this young one, they're all just trying to move their heads a little bit. What we see now, the sun, it's coming up a little bit. So, but if they decided they're going to stay here, probably they're going to stay here for another couple of hours. But I'm sure when they start to run around, then they'll go far. I'm so glad that we still have them in the property. But they're going to have to hunt somehow to survive. It's always so cool about wild dogs when they have puppies. Every time puppies all you're asking why do they eat the prey alive instead of killing it first? I think it's something to do with hungry. Number two is something to do with corporate hunter. And number three is that they don't block the fur. They just, wherever position they can, they do that. So they don't suffocate. So they believe wherever they're going to bite, there's a damage they do with these sharpening teeth they got. So it's true. It's a very good question, that, because you have a pride, also lions, but they suffocate, they kill before they eat. But then in a pride, one will suffocate and the rest will start eat while that animal is still not completely dead. 100%. So yeah, it's all about everybody getting enough of food, because the whole packs over here involve in one single impala, where some of them may get up there when the meat is done and all of them are satisfied or full stomach. So yeah, that's the reason. Hyena also, when they cornered prey species, also they bite it to death alive. So it only die because of losing blood and all the intestines out and things like that. Organs. So they run 55 kilometers an hour. This is when they're chasing their prey. They can sometimes slow down depending on how far distance they have kept that speed for. But sometimes, they can run for 3.3 kilometers away. So this is how the success killings begin from, because they're chased and non-stop when they do that. Evan, so you're asking if wild dogs do smell bad. They have a kind of a smell of themselves. Of course, that's very much punching. And I think it's something to do with when they urinate and things like that. So they do smell bad. When I'm saying bad, it's not like poop or anything, or defecation, but they're kind of like their own doggy smells compared to most of the Canidae family. Or they are Canidae anyway. So Canis, those jackals, wolfie, which I never actually had a chance to see wolfie and not knowing what their smells like. But out there they do have a kind of little bit of a smell. So we're gonna leave them for now and check around. We'll always check on them just to see if they will be around the whole day here, same place.
We've not had much luck this morning, I'm afraid. We've scratched around Torchwood to see if we can find that lioness from yesterday, which was the blue-eyed lioness from the Talamatis. And she's obviously alone, she's not with the Talamatis, and she definitely looked skinny, but I wouldn't say from what I could see she was flat, that she had lost condition or anything like that. I think because she's on her own and because she's skinny, people maybe thought, this lioness has lost condition. But to me, she just looks like she really needs a good meal. So we're just trying to scratch around to see which direction she went in and, well, to see if we could pick up any more signs of her. We see her tracks, so we're just going to follow them for a little bit and see if we can find her. I hope she goes up north and rejoins the pride again. And unfortunately, we can't go into Buffelshoek today, so we may not be able to solve that mystery immediately, but we will try. It is normal for lionesses to separate from the pride, and I am more than sure that she'll go back to them. But she was originally found on Chitwa airstrip, which is actually quite far south for the Talamati pride. So I'm really hoping that she'll go back up north and eventually reunite. It's always nice when the prides reunite with one another. There's lots of joy, vocalizations, and a lot of tenderness. Okay, so we're going to continue our search and hopefully we're going to get lucky.
Alright, so we decided to stay, and just because of Nothing else actually activity out there. It's quiet, and it's always good to see the dogs are all in the shade. And since we saw hyena coming only once, and then don't have a visual of that hyena, it's probably maybe lying far distance because they're always behind other hunting animal, which is behind the lions, behind the leopards. Those are the hyenas. Behind the packs of dogs. Wherever they know they would maybe get a little bit left over, and they'll stick around behind that animal. So when it's far too hot, this is where now they weren't going to be interested on going any far further. The best chance it's early morning and in the afternoon for them to hunt. Unless if it's a very cool day though, they can still go about hunting. But also something to do with they're hungry. I know yesterday we actually discussed a little bit of the diseases they might sometimes have as dogs. And then I mentioned tuberculosis, which is most carried by the species they hunt, these dogs. Herbivore species could be affected if they ever eat those. But rabies as well. Rabies, it's also one of the main disease that occur to cats as well, lions. That sometimes that's where you don't have a stable So you're saying it's so cool that we get to spend some time with them. Yeah, it's so cool, especially they're not moving. You know, they're all just chilling. It's good when they move, but there's a chance they disappear because they're so quick. And out here, it's, you know, thick. A lot of area, it's a rivers, you can't cross to follow them. So yeah, you're right. It's so cool just to see them stationary. Mainly in the packs like this, because all fully growing, those males and the females, they all look the same in height, in size. So for male and female, because there's a pair breeder as a dominance in this group, and you always see them urinate around this group, and then so this is how you know these are actually alpha male and alpha female. I'm going to stay put here. I'm going to be sending you across to Davald with something spot.
We came to a watering hole, and then we came across some giraffe that was staring in the distance, and surprise, surprise, there was a female cheetah with two older cubs not too far away, and they've just got up and moved away from the watering hole because there's those giraffe staring at them, and they've come and lied in the shade of the small tree here, and they were looking quite skinny, so it will be interesting to see what they get up to. There's one of the youngsters that have come and joined Mom, but I can see the other youngsters just a little bit further off to the right, underneath a tree behind some bushes. Not a great view from here, but it is slowly coming this way now towards its mother as well. So let's see, it might come and join. Mom might be waiting for it and then start moving again, because like we said, she is quite skinny and they also look very skinny and hungry, so maybe they'll keep on going, in which case we'll keep an eye on them and move with them. I've lost him for now. Annette, you're saying beautiful cheetah and lovely to see them. Yes, indeed. We were coming to the area because there was reports of them actually quite far away from this particular area, and some other vehicles were going and checking the last spot, and then we said that we'll go and check the watering hole, hoping for some other animals as well, and we found the cheetahs. Very, very nice to have a good surprise like that. Now you can just see the black behind the ears of the mother. I think that's her that we can see, and she's yawning quite a bit, so I don't know if she's going to be settling down for too long in this particular spot, but who knows. It is very hot at the moment. All the clouds have kind of moved away, so the sun is scorching Pinda today, it seems. But you can see how she's still looking around, lying with her head up. So I think still very much interested in whatever's going on around her. Actually looking in this direction a little bit. Oh, there comes the other youngster now. He was taking quite a while, or it was taking quite a while to get in this, to come in this direction, but I think it's lost its mum, because it was looking around for a moment. Oh, there he's coming now. We gotta see if there's maybe some interaction. Walking past the small tree there now. Coming to the nice shady spot that Mom has chosen for them, and also lying down immediately. I think this youngster was a little bit more interested in the giraffe than the rest that was looking at them earlier, and it was actually that giraffe that led Odie and I to go and check what they were looking at. We saw actually a buffalo running away from the watering hole, and then saw this giraffe staring in one particular spot, and then we found the cheetahs. Amazing how the animals can help you find other animals if you can read the signs and move accordingly. See how she's actually on a hillside here, so I don't know if you can see the hills in the back there also, so she's positioned herself pretty well to be able to scan quite a big area for potential prey, but also for potential danger. With having these two youngsters, she'll have to obviously be very careful with where she wants to lie down, keep an eye out for lions in this particular area. Ooh, some jackal flies biting this morning. Klaus, you're asking if cheetahs scavenge like hyenas. They do not. Cheetahs are not scavengers at all, and I've actually never ever heard of cheetahs scavenging. They might maybe scavenge very, very fresh kills from maybe other cheetah or from jackal or something like that, but cheetahs generally hunt for them, or mostly hunt for themselves, and they feed on mostly fresh meat, and they prefer not, or they actually don't feed on rotting meat at all. And there's a good reason for that, because old carcasses are generally are accompanied with other scavengers, and they'll obviously try and avoid that as much as possible, because they're so slender and not as powerful as other animals. They have to be very, very careful. And they'll try and feed on mostly fresh meat. And this female will also try and avoid opening up her carcass's stomach to avoid the smell. Net, you're asking how healthy the population of cheetah is in Phinda. So I think it's a very good population. It's quite strong, and genetically some of the strongest cheetahs in the world. With cheetah in the wild, their genetics kind of bottlenecked at some point because of habitat destruction and cheetah getting killed by farmers or so. And Phinda, I think the one main purpose for Phinda when they were started was cheetah conservation, and that is why our population is so good, and also our genetics are so strong with cheetah. And we try and relocate cheetah and work with organizations to relocate cheetah and the genetics into different areas to uplift the whole natural population of South Africa. And obviously we have a very good population. It took a bit of a dip because of lions killing the cheetahs after a drought and some bush encroachment or so, but I think it is picking up a little bit, as we saw those 5 sub-adults that are still doing well, and there's quite a few females with cubs at the moment that are in the area. Look at the youngsters sitting up there and looking around. Mom's also sitting upright a little bit. But while these cheetahs are not moving too much, we are going to send you over to Andrew, that is with an animal that population is not doing too well.
Devils, thank you so much for that. And of course, cheetah healthies, and of course, due to the way they take care of themselves, hunting success, where here it's slightly different. Hunting, it's all success about wild dogs, but they're more likely to be affected by any of a disease, and then sometimes other predators involved in killing them. Or then, if it's not much of the prey species, they might hunt for themselves and get sustainable balance and reproduce, get a number of them bigger in the packs, then that's going to be a problem. So there is slightly difference. With the dogs, wherever they are, it's got to be balance of food source for them, and they got to be healthy if it's not such a disease that will infect them, such as rabies, as I mentioned, or tuberculosis, where there's a swelling, some part of their body. And then and the chance of these young ones die. And I'm just so happy looking at them all survive at this age. And they're more likely to be wiped off before they get anything from 3 weeks sometimes, or 4 weeks. For them to gain a lot of access to their parents is how they actually receive meat from their parents. When they don't hunt very well, then they won't provide meat for these babies. And at 6 months, they still, rely on their parents to regurgitate the meat. Wherever the parents go eat, they'll bring it back, carrying it meat from their tummy through for them to feed. There's a chance sometimes this puppy may get infected of any of a disease that meat may carry out there. So it's sometimes a little difficult to have a balance of a wild dog, where you have now at least quite a lot of them here, which we're so happy to see them. Sure. What you hear in the background, it's all about vomit. One of the dog. And that is not actually throwing out for the other member, because it's one of the puppy over here. So that's why the rest of the member are not interested in that. They're not even looking at. But if it was one of the parents, they would be looking at, because they believe the parents, this is how they give food to their young one. You're going to stay put here. I'm going to be sending you across to Lauren with her mammal. Started drinking at the watering hole.
We finally got lucky at Chitwa Dam. Ah, the joys. Let's just take a moment to watch this. And you probably won't hear them because of the weavers, but we can still watch and enjoy. Crazy, yes, I think they are very thirsty. Elephants, of course, have to drink a lot of water due to their digestive system not being so efficient. Water helps smooth the process. It's a very inefficient digestive system, and that's why they regularly drink, as well as to cool down, of course. But they're very water dependent, elephants. And they can actually detect water sources up to 12 miles away. Miles away. Can you believe that? A very powerful sense of smell. But if they're navigating the landscape out here, they won't always have to rely to smell water. They will know the water points. The matriarch's role is to lead the elephants from water point to water point that's reliable. So she will know Chitwa Dam. She will know Kalahari Dam. They maybe will have their own elephant names for these things. But we call it Chitwa Dam. But if they're really struggling for water and it's maybe a very, very harsh winter, it's barren and dry, then they can use their keen sense of smell. You can hear the weavers, the Dieterich's cuckoo was going, the fish eagle was going. We've got all the yellow weavers, be it the village, the southern mast, but we've also got the red-billed buffalo weavers. I love it when they form a line like this. They're heading north. Very possible that we can go round and actually catch them crossing Kalahari Main. It's not so hot yet, it's not uncomfortably hot, which is why they didn't dive in for a swim. This is so lovely. Let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Shelley, I love baby elephants too. They're gorgeous. Very sweet. I counted 13. It's a nice size herd. You've got lots of adults. Some sort of teenagers, if you like, and then you've got youngsters. And you're not going to believe it, Dobby, but look what's just landed on the bonnet underneath this tree that's filled with weavers. Right in the center part of the bonnet, around about here. Yay, another dragonfly. I love that they love our bonnet. Why they love our bonnet, I do not know, but they do. Isn't that beautiful? Spectacular. Probably just started flying, just got enough energy. See, it doesn't need to cling on. It's lying on a flat horizontal surface. So it doesn't need to perch. But you can see just by that body shape how they really are not designed for walking. They've got to sort of balance their body weight, and that's why the body stands up like that, the abdomen at least. That's so cool. I just wanted to point that out, but let's go and have a little look back at our elephants. Constantly communicating, I imagine they will probably be having a long elephant conversation about where to go. Using those super secret infrasounds on that private channel. Just like a game drive radio, but for them it's private. Elephant, elephant, come in. Standing by. We do also have some other great big grey mammals looking at us. I think we should just give you a quick look at what we're being stared at before we wrap up. Watching our every move, we have the hippopotamus of Chitwa Dam. So I'm going to loop round and try and catch up with these elephants, and hopefully we get lucky.
My name is Taylor McCurdy, and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced, and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
Do you dream of traveling to a far-flung wilderness location where life continues as normal? A place where you can escape to nature and breathe. If you become a Wild Earth explorer, then this could soon become a reality. Subscribe today and stand a chance to win regular travel prizes. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature. The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari. Have you been watching Wild Earth and dreamt of being right there on safari with one of the guides? Well, now you can. Wild Earth is offering you a chance to buy a ticket to dream. You or a friend can hop on board a live Wild Earth show and join our guide on safari. The ticket is redeemable at any of our locations, anytime in the future. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so don't wait. Get your ticket now and start dreaming. Terms and conditions apply.
Cool. So we still haven't moved this in this last position here. And this is only the best sighting for now for all of them. And they're all scattered all over in the shade over here. So we only have the visual of these puppies all gathering in that shade. And they weren't gonna do any action. They're not adult yet, so they will wait around here, wait for their parents to make any move. But I think maybe they probably didn't drink even water since yesterday afternoon when we left them. Which love water. Also, they love being inside the water, just like hyena do. It's all about cooling off when they're inside the water. Shallow puddle of water, they will love that. So that is one of a cooling system, but also being in the shade is part of it, cooling it off. So they're moving in and out of this area, these dogs, sometimes.
What's the average lifespan of a wild dog?
Tommy, so you're asking the average lifespan, or in the wild, 14, 10 years, roughly. Then you keep them in a cage, probably where you take care of them, and then you treat it any of disease, or then you get them feed. Roughly 18 years, maybe. They can get up there in cage. So death rate on dogs occurred quite a lot during their movement. So when they run, they don't have a choice to observe the danger around. This is when they chase their prey down. So it can more happen that I ran into a pride of line, I get caught, died right on the spot. Mandarin lions are actually serious enemy because they're big cats. I can still deal with a leopard. I can still deal with a hyena in case hyena's around. I don't mind hyena a lot. So, I'm not sure where this puppy was born, probably in the, whether it's in Satmanyeleti. So Miss Sunshine, you say that you like the way they lying on the ground flat. Indeed, you're right. It's such a peaceful spot there, and their environment is clearly brings all the quality of the wildness. When you look at them, you look at the grasses. So they're on their environment now. Bushes, it's always important for this green to be around here because sustained the herbivore species, browsers, which is the also food for these animals as a carnivore. So if it wasn't these type of bushes and grasses that we see here, and then there is no food chain then, so nobody is a meat for somebody, nobody is a food for someone. But that's where now nature begins, from grasses and the water, trees. Bring plenty of herbivores, those are grazers, feed on grasses. And then the second you got a consumer, which is the carnivore species, which they would be hunting on this prey species. Those feed on grass. So what a wave of predations is taking place. So I'm going to stay put here. I'm going to be sending you across Diavold with his buffaloes on the move.
We are sitting just a little bit off from where the cheetahs are. And look at all these buffalo coming down to the water now for a drink. All walking in one long line, coming across, not really going to that muddy patch there for drink, but rather coming down to the bigger watering hole on the right here. And we're just keeping an eye on the tree where we know the cheetahs have gone and lie down, but there's no view of them at the moment. It's that tree over there, but they're just lying behind the long grass at the moment, off to the left. But now all these buffalo are coming down to the water. Have a look at that. Gonna have the whole herd drinking right here next to us. You can hear all the weavers going crazy over the water as well. There you can see the weavers, all the males busy building their nests over the water here. Keep an eye on them while we wait for the rest of the herd of buffalo to come in to the water. Listen to the buffalo splashing around in the water as they all move in. And you can see there's a big bull that's right here close to us. And the rest of the herd spread out to the right hand side. Just some other vehicles coming and joining us in the sighting. Tammy, you're saying you just love the sounds of nature, it's so calming. And how lovely is it seeing them at the watering hole like this. You can see how all the buffalo are running to the water. It's so nice there. Obviously water is life. You can just see how excited they are to get to the watering hole here. All of them standing really close together, trying to walk deeper and deeper into the watering hole. Oh, there's one actually lying down, really enjoying the cool water on this hot morning. So this water that's here at the moment is from some recent rains. We had some big rainstorms. Tony, you're asking if buffalo take baths. Well, that one rolling around in the water just tells the story, doesn't it? But it's more to cool themselves down rather than clean themselves. They don't really care too much about dirt. The more mud in any case, as you can see on them. The more mud they have on them, the better for parasites and biting insects, and also to protect them from the sun and cool them down. So taking a bath to cool itself down like that, really enjoying the water. I think all of them are slowly going to move towards some muddy patches, maybe on the right hand side, and I think they all might have a bit of a wallow or so. Let's hope so. It will be very entertaining. You can see some individuals pushing their horns further back into the mud as well. It's actually cooling down a little bit. With the clouds coming over now, it's much cooler than what it was earlier. See some youngsters pushing each other around in the mud there. I think they're starting to all move in the general direction to the right of some mud wallows there. Linda, you're asking what we find most interesting about buffalo? I think it is probably when they come and wallow like this, and the fact that they live in such big herds sometimes, and the social structure between all of them. You can see the big dominant bull that's here. He was leading the way, and then there's often some younger bulls and less dominant bulls further back in the herd. So this big bull that's here with the herd, he was leading the way, and interesting to see them all actually follow. But I think they are getting a move on, so we might need to move back a little bit as well at some point, as they are all heading towards some mud on the other side there. I think we're going to move back a little bit. Just bear with us and see if we can get a view of them on the other side there. Just want to reverse nice and straight because we're on a damn wall here. We might need to look through the trees, but we'll get a nice view hopefully from the side. I think let's go back all the way. I want to drive down into this watering hole and get stuck in there forever. Okay, almost there, almost there, almost there. And how's that spot over there? A little bit further back, says OD. There we go. And now we've got a nice view in between this gap here with the trees. Seems like they're all coming. There's a few drinking from this muddy patch, but I think, and some of them are looking to head towards some muddy patches. There's one here closer to us as well. I think they might actually start to wallow a bit. Oh, look at that big bull going in and rubbing his face into the mud now. Here another vehicle just joining us here now. Oh, look at that. Some of them rolling around. There's a few. There's one like going and, oh, look at that, rolling with the legs up. Julia, you're saying it's such a lovely scene. It is indeed. Watering holes in the summertime when it's so hot is such a nice place to come and sit and just enjoy the animals coming down. And what a surprise having these buffalo just come down all of a sudden while you were waiting to see if the cheetahs come out. Look at all of them going into the muddy water there to lie down and roll a bit. So this water cooling them down and also protecting them against some parasites, so the mud that's getting stuck to them. Look at the one in the back there rolling, trying to cover as much of its body as it can. Oh, look at that big bull rolling around onto his back. Amber, you're asking what they do in the winter time when there's less mud or no mud. So they need to walk long distances to watering holes that actually do have mud and water. Look at that bull covering himself completely. Wow. Sorry, Amber, just to get back to your question. So they just have to move away from the areas that don't have water and move to areas that do, because buffalo are quite water dependent and need to drink at least once or twice a day, and will drink readily if it's available. and they often ruin watering holes for other animals, because then if there's very little water left, they actually go and wallow like this. Look at that bull. He has literally covered every single spot on his body now with mud. There he goes again. Seems like he's settling down now. Wow, how camouflaged is he at the moment? If he lies down flat with his head, you would drive by and not even see him. There he goes again. My goodness, you can just imagine how nice that must feel for him. Annette, you saying it must be absolute bliss for them. I agree. Imagine being this dark color and being really hot in the African sun, and then coming to a watering hole in a muddy water like this and just rolling around and cooling yourself down. The relief must be amazing. And just getting that terrible itch off, or that the biting flies off of you, must be so nice. Almost looks like that bull's falling asleep a little bit. That's how much he's enjoying it. Oh, there he goes and rolls again. I think he's had enough. Seems like he wants to get up. But seems like they are settling down. These buffalo might actually lie down and stay in this mud for a little bit. But this bull is so entertaining. But we are going to send you over to Andrew, that's got some impalas that are looking for some shade in the hot morning.
Indeed, impalas over here, probably looking for a shade. You know, we just left a dog back there. And now there is actually food here for the dogs, which is always quarantine as the best place to be for the dogs to hunt around. Where I think if they're going to move these directions, they're going to flush this impala around here. But we're looking at only 4 male. It's a small, actually, bachelor group. Oh, there is more way in the end. It's probably that's why they're separated from, because there looks like a female. So wherever it's a female, it's got to be a dominant male. So as a bachelor group, these are isolated already from being not dominant. Probably one of those fully grown antelope over here that we're looking at. Weighs 60 kilogram, 55. Would be a good size for the whole dogs back there for a day. And it's quite a beautiful open area. But I doubt if they're going to move in. It's starting to get slightly warmer than it was this morning. I'm going to carry on down to the dam, see what's happening around the dam. I'm going to be sending you across to the other location.
We have the most magnificent view. It flew away, so we were about to move on, but it's back of the, I think it's the long-tailed paradise wider. 2 of them. Can we just go down on that? I think that's the long-tail. You also get the broad-tailed, and I'm sure I don't need to explain the differences between the two. They look very, very similar in terms of coloration and markings, but it's the tail that, of course, is different. Where did they go? I think the females are there as well. Just like the weavers, the females are, I hate to say it, but almost nondescript. Oh my goodness, Davi's going to give us some flying. Wow. Is that 2 males competing with one another in the air? Wow. Incredible camera work there, Davi. They have a really unique sort of mode of flight because they're weighed down by that extra long, bizarre-looking tail. These 2 males are displaying to one another, aerial displays. Wow. Have they disappeared?
Yeah.
Good work. That long tail sort of goes back to that principle in ecology known as the handicap principle. Just like a lion's mane. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sore neck today, so I'm struggling to look around a little bit. But just like a lion's mane and a peacock's tail feathers, all sorts of things. It's the exact same principle. It weighs the birds down. But although it comes at a great cost, it increases their fitness benefit greatly, because they're so elaborate and so fancy and so beautiful that the females choose them. It's exact same as the weavers. The weavers, or at least let's just say the southern masked weavers, are brightly coloured. They're displaying, they're calling, they're putting lots of energy into attracting the females. It's the exact same principle. And when the males are not in their breeding plumage, they don't have that long tail. It only appears in time for breeding season. Okay, I'm going to just head to the dam, see what else we can find there. And for now, we're going to send you across to another location.
We came a little bit forward and we can just see the cheetahs where they are lying through the trees, below the tree that they are at. And you can just hear all the weavers going absolutely crazy in the trees just next to us over the watering hole. Those buffalo are slowly moving out of the water now and getting further away. And I think these cheetahs are going to start to move a little bit, hopefully, because there is actually a herd of zebras that are on their way in this direction. Can see at least one of the cheetahs looking in the direction of the zebras, and the other one looking towards the buffalo. Wonder if these zebras have realized that the cheetahs are there. But the zebras, the whole herd is now on their way here, so there might be some kind of interaction. I think the cheetahs will try and make themselves as little noticed as possible from the zebras, but they are sitting upright a little bit now. See the one on the left hand side of the tree there, just sitting up and looking around. Justin, you're asking how many cheetahs it will take to take down a zebra. Adult zebras are not hunted by cheetahs. They are just too big. Even if there was a lot of cheetahs, they will not risk getting injured taking down an adult zebra. But I've seen 2 male cheetahs hunt a juvenile zebra before, or zebra foals, but anything bigger than a year-old zebra foal is too big and too dangerous for cheetahs to hunt, so they won't really go for that. And also other zebras will come and try and save the ones that are caught, and zebras will often chase and try and get rid of cheetahs, so very, very unlikely for them to hunt zebras as a whole, but it does happen every now and then with juveniles. See, the cheetah's just keeping an eye on this massive herd of zebras that's coming over now. I think it's actually worth us moving forward and seeing if we can see the cheetahs from up ahead, because they are sitting upright now. I think let's go a little bit forward and see if we can get a view of them on that side. Just moving past all these fever trees with all the weavers building their nests. Oh, we might struggle to see the cheetahs. Let's go back a little bit. Odie says that he can see one just a little bit. Okay, stop right here. We've got a bit of more of an open gap. I know it's difficult to see the cheetahs at the moment, but the zebras are actually all looking in that direction. And it seems they are now starting to come down towards the water. We might see some interaction. This is such a big herd of zebras coming down now. I don't think the zebras have noticed that the cheetahs are there just yet. There's very little wind blowing at the moment, and the wind that is blowing feels like it might be blowing the scent of the cheetahs towards the zebras, but it doesn't seem like they've noticed anything just yet. In the sunshine, you're saying zebras are dangerous animals to mess with. Definitely that bite and kick is quite dangerous and can be very effective to get rid of a cheetah, and even when they fight with each other. Oh, the zebras are actually going closer towards the tree there now. I wonder if they've picked up the scent of those cheetahs, because these zebras are going closer and closer. Look at that little group sticking really close together and going close towards the tree there. I think they've noticed them now. Look at how their ears are up and they're listening to the tree or towards the tree there. I think they've maybe seen some movement as well from the cheetahs. They are nervous. Look at how they're trotting away. They're not too sure. They can probably smell predator and see something, but they're not too sure. They're very nervous. Oh, look at the zebras running off. There you can see the cheetah now sitting upright and looking at sitting upright all the way. No, I think cheetah knows that the zebras have found them, so no need to hide anymore. Look at all the zebras just standing up and all staring at the cheetah. They're inching closer, inching closer. All investigating what is that below the tree. Look how close they're getting to the tree there. And Silva, you're asking if the cheetah would attack if one zebra became vulnerable. I think if a foal maybe gets separated and is by itself, maybe they will, but otherwise we might see them charge the zebras to kind of chase them away. Look how close they're getting. My goodness. Might find that these young cheetahs are also quite brave, and maybe we'll try and chase the zebras, but with so many zebras, I think these cheetahs stand no chance at all. The zebras blocking our view of the cheetahs. See how they all move together in these clumps. When one moves, all of them move together. How interesting is this behavior? The zebras just staring at the cheetahs. I wonder which zebra is going to be the brave one that's going to start the chase and chase these cheetahs, or if it's the cheetahs that are going to be brave and chase the zebras. I think those cheetahs are trying to make themselves as small as possible, trying to lie down and not show any aggression just yet. All of them starting to move together now. There's one foal in between the herd there, kind of sticking right next to its mother, right in between the rest. Imagine being that cheetah and having so many eyes on you. Must be quite a daunting thing to have. Look at the zebras. They're slowly moving from left to right, and I think they are getting closer and closer to that tree there. Might find that it's the stallions that are moving around closer and closer. Look at that one getting really close on the left-hand side of the tree. Oh yeah, here we go. Can't believe that those cheetahs have not run off yet. Dominic, you're asking if these zebras can really hurt the cheetahs? Definitely. I think if an adult zebra can catch a cheetah or catch up to it, they'll stomp on them with their hooves and try and bite as well. Obviously trying to get them away from their foals and get them away because they are predators and could potentially be dangerous to them. Well, they don't know that, but they might think so. They definitely can do some damage. They are such muscular and big animals, especially compared to a poor, skinny old cheetah. The zebras almost started moving off, and now they're all coming closer again. They're now staring over to the left, the cheetah, I think, are still there. Just below the tree. But I think we're going to stick around and see what happens here. I'm hoping that the zebras come down for a drink, but we'll see.
Now we got a very interesting bird over here. Such a beautiful violet back starling that we don't actually get to see. They're around with a very flighty bird compared to most of the other starling that we have around here. And it's actually very difficult to stick with them for long. And the reason I stop here is because of the watering hole, small puddle of water, as you can see how natural it comes about, created by the animal over the years. Those are the elephants, the buffaloes, the rhinos, the warthogs. Those are the mainly creator of this little water. Comes naturally at the end, and then it holds the water during the rain for the other animals to benefit to drink. You can even see the nest of the birds right there on top there of these little green bushes, which are the weavers again. The musk weavers, busy building their nest, as they always follow wherever it's possible for watering hole. So it's such a great for nature to bring about a beauty. So we're gonna move on, see if we're gonna find anything else.
There's a warthog that's now come down to the water to come have a drink. But while this warthog is drinking, it has no idea that there is quite a bit happening just off to the right, where the zebras are still just sitting and staring at, or standing and staring at the cheetahs. The cheetahs have not budged, still just lying down underneath the tree there. I think it's a matter of patience at this point. Which one is gonna give in first? I think these zebras are also very keen to come down to the water and drink. They're starting to lose interest a little bit, it seems. JV, you're saying this is quite a big dazzle of zebras. It is indeed. I think it's maybe quite a few different horns and stallions that have all met up together, coming down to the water. Still some of them that's very interested in those cheetahs. See all the zebras' tails just swishing from side to side, constantly chasing the biting insects away from them, trying to keep the flies off of them. And there is now a mare with her foal that has started to move off. I think she's a little bit nervous with her foal being so close to a predator off to the right hand side. And she might start to make cause the whole herd to start moving with her. Let's see. Seems like there's quite a few stallions also that's actually standing and keeping an eye on these cheetahs. I can hear them alarm calling every now and then, making that snorting sound that they make when they see predators. I'm secretly hoping that these cheetahs just come running out underneath a tree and try and chase all these zebras away. But they probably know that's too many zebras for them to handle. Dave, you're asking whether or not the zebras would have been so calm if it was lions. No, not at all. I think if it was lions, they would have been way, way more nervous and would have ran and moved off very, very early on, almost immediately after spotting the lions. And I think the lions would have been way more interested in the zebras as well. They would never have allowed the zebras to get this close without trying to hunt them, especially with that foal being so close as well. So it would have been a completely different story if it was lions. A very, very good question. So interesting that these zebras are still keeping an eye on them. So before coming down to drink, they are always quite cautious to come down to the water and put their heads down and drink, because it's quite a vulnerable state that they're in. But it paid off this time being so cautious, because they caught the scent of these cheetahs. Look at the stallions chasing each other there on the right hand side now. See, they're not too worried about these cheetahs at all. Still going on with their social interactions and so. So interesting that the cheetahs have not budged at all. I must be honest, if I was the cheetahs, I would have been quite intimidated with all these zebras. Looks like there's some of the zebras now moving off to the right. Oh my goodness. Every time I think, okay, they're moving away, then one just turns around and starts looking at the cheetahs again. But for now, while we wait to see if these cheetahs move, we are going to send you over to Andrew, where he's got some birds.
Thanks, Devold. Now we got another pretty looking bird over here. We just saw violet back starling. Now we got a birch hole starling. As you can see there, it's all about hunting.
Andrew.
It's all about hunting, getting into an insect. They do insect hunters. These grasshoppers, small beetles, and a food of source where they can find. And they have a very long tail compared to most of the starling we have here. Where we have a Gloucester starling, greater blue-eared starling, and violet-back starling. So they prefer water during the hot of the day where they drink. You're more likely to find them in one of the shade, taking their own time, diving into water or landing into a shell of water, taking a drink. But they can fly very quickly sometimes. They're more vulnerable to a mongoose around here. The biggest species of mongoose would hunt this one. It's a black-tipped mongoose or slender mongoose. So he's saying it's beautiful, shiny bird. Yes, indeed. The starlings are gorgeous colors, especially those one. Glossa and greater blue-eared starling, and yeah, they chance of see beautiful of a shiny coat. Now the sun is shining right through to that bird. And it's a bird you rely into. If you're in the wood, they're more likely to, if there is a danger, presence of a snake, a cat, so would it then get around, fly over it, makes a lot of calls and brings a lot of other species of birds such as the hornbills. As always, whenever there's a danger around here, it's then so many of a concern for the prey species. They're more likely to be shouted about because then they're getting attacked. So I'm going to be carrying on down to the dam again. I'm going to be sending you across to Devil.
As we were sitting, we got this family of warthogs coming down to the water to have a drink, and look at all the cute little piglets with the two females. Oh no, don't go in that direction, that's where the cheetahs are. They've seen something on the left that startled them a little bit. Oh no, there they go, straight towards the cheetahs. Oh, they saw some other warthogs that's also on the way here. And then they go straight to the zebras that are looking at the cheetahs still and sticking around the cheetahs. I wonder if the cheetahs will risk going for a little piglet maybe. The warthogs are now just behind this tree here. They're coming out in front of the zebras, going straight to the tree where the cheetahs are lying down. Danica, you are asking what the survival rate of a piglet is. Unfortunately, it's not very high. Piglets often don't survive the first year of their lives. For example, there's a female that's close to Mountain Lodge that had at least 6 piglets, and she only has 1 left. But it's not to say that they've not made it. They often go and sleep in the same burrows as other females with piglets, and go out of the burrow and just go with the wrong mom, so you might find that she maybe lost them to another female. So quite interesting that you sometimes see females with 10 to 12 piglets and one with only 3 or 4. But they've moved off. I think they realized that there's a predator close by, and they all moved off to the left-hand side. And now there's some other warthogs, what looks like coming for a nice wallow in the little concrete pan that's straight ahead of us. And those zebras are still keeping an eye on those cheetahs. So much happening at this watering hole this morning. And all while this is happening, there is so many weavers going crazy next to us. Claire, you are asking what you call a group of warthogs. And the group of warthogs is the same as any other group of pigs. I think it's called sounders of warthogs. Yes, sounders. I think I think that's the term, the collective noun for all pig species, actually. Zebras coming down for a drink now. I think some of them can't resist the urge to come down to the water anymore. They're just keeping an eye on us for now. But I think they've realized that we, because they've been so interested in the cheetahs earlier. But just stopping and looking around before coming down to the water, making sure that there's no other danger also. But we pose no threat to you guys, so you can come down to have a drink. Okay, they're on the move. I think just going around to a spot that's maybe a little bit easier for them to drink at. And to see you asking what is the difference between plain zebra and mountain zebra. So mountain zebra, for those of you that don't know, is another species of zebra that occurs in southern Africa, and quite a rare one that you only see in certain areas. So the plain zebra that you can see in front of us, you can see they've got stripes that are quite thick and go all the way down to the bellies. I think with this mountain zebras, their stripes are way thinner, and they don't have the shadow stripes in between their big main stripes, and I think their bellies might not have as many stripes on them. Look at the zebras coming closer again to keep a look on those cheetahs. While the zebras are coming down towards the water, I'm just going to move a little bit forward so that we can maybe get a view of these zebras, a very nice view of these zebras when they come down to drink. We'll maybe stop just like this, so we still have that tree of the cheetahs in our view. These zebras are so nervous to come down to the water with the cheetahs being close by. Look at all the zebras coming back to come have a look at those cheetahs again. Maybe I should have just stayed in the spot that we were at. Some other zebras that were down for drink at the water behind us. But I think we are going to still stick around and keep an eye on these zebras and cheetah and the interaction. But we'll send you over to Andrew, where he is also at a watering hole.
Thanks, dear Hold. So we came to the dam here, and pretty much only the water birds that's around here. Got a white-faced duck or whistling duck. Those are the small duck around here that you find this time of the year. and sometimes they can be in group. But there it's hunting for possibly these plants growing around these dams on the edge. So they do make a call, almost like a whistle when they fly in group. That's why it has changed name into from white-faced duck to a whistling duck. So Viola, you want to know what bird species we got in Djuma? So we got a lot of them. In general, the whole entire Kruger Park is over 200. So yeah, what duck species? Sorry. So we had pretty much two at the moment. We're whistling duck and then comb duck. That's what we often see around here, the two. And the geese, we have one, but there's another one which is very rare, spare-wing geese. Where often we see Egyptian geese. But always geese are bigger in size compared to a duck. So that sometimes the duck, they all group up together, remember, so many females may be dominated by one male. Where geese, they mainly pair partners. And they breed together, male and female. So Abby say this is a beautiful duck. Indeed it is. I think it's just kind of like I hear a little bit of a sound it's making there. And stop. But not that sound you can hear on the background. That's the blacksmith lapwing. And then what could hunt them? It's an eagle. So quick link pinned.
The cheetahs just ran out underneath the tree there. We think they might have tried to go for a little piglet. You can see the cheetah standing out in the open now. There's some zebras that ran as well and keeping an eye on the cheetah. Let's see where she goes from there, because there's wildebeest to her right, cheetahs further behind her, zebras further behind her, and zebras close to us as well. I don't know if I just saw something run in the back there again. Zebras all over the place, so it's going to be difficult for them to now that they have started moving, to maybe get out of this situation. Okay, the cheetahs are on the move a bit further back. I think they are all trying to get away now. And some piglets running in the back as well. And warthogs. There's some wildebeests with some calves that are really close to the cheetahs as well. All the animals coming down to the water. Can't see the cheetahs from where we are at the moment. Some lying down or standing behind the tree there. The zebras in the back are moving quite sporadically at the moment. See, these zebras are still close to us, are still staring underneath the tree as well. There you just see the cheetah like moving to the left in front of the zebras. Let me go a little bit forward for us. See if we can get a view over here. Okay, we should be able to see the cheetah come out into full view now with the zebras on the left-hand side. There, she's just now turned and facing the other way again. See some warthogs running in the back there. I think this cheetah's a little bit nervous. I wonder if the cubs went running as well. Oh, the cheetah's running and the zebras are chasing them. Oh, she was chasing the zebras. She's now further in the back. I think she's over these zebras, staring at them and keeping so close to them. Wonder if it was one of the cubs, because there's another cheetah coming out now from the right hand side, and there's the zebras are coming back. I think they are really close to a road on the other side there. The zebras are kind of trotting around, trying to intimidate, I think. Okay, we're going to lose them over the hill pretty soon. So they keep on going in that direction. See the zebras kind of ganging up and trotting closer to where we last saw the cheetahs going. Okay, we've just lost them over the hill. I wonder if it's worth us actually going around there towards the other road. I think let's do that. See if we can get to the other side. But we are going to see if we can get to the other side there and get a view of them. We're going to send you over to Andrew with some long-awaited spots in the meanwhile.
Thanks, dear Holt. Good luck there with going around. Hopefully you get to see them again. Now, as we have a look at the Egyptian geese in the dark, not far on the eastern side of a dam, there's a Tingana lying right in this tall grass where that tree we started from. This is when he was last seen by me yesterday and Davy yesterday morning. And then from there he went to the very tall grass thicket. We couldn't get to see him anymore. In the afternoon, nobody found him, but he's here today. but sometimes can be so much impossible to just spot a leopard in these grasses unless you knew it's there. We're here, when we got here, his head up was up, looking around. So this is how we spot him. Picture. So you say that you're so happy that the Duke's back in Djuma. Yeah, indeed, it's so cool that you get to see him. Understand that he's actually been in the area for a few days now, which is so cool. Well, we had a dog since yesterday, and it's still there today. It's the same with him. But, you know, it's very difficult to get to know what they're up to if you don't find them and see them, what they're up to. So now, leopard, a very solitary animal compared to the cheetah and the dogs and the lions, pride. They are solitary, where males, once is independent, female once, she's independent. Age of 2 years from their parent, mother. And then they learn a new life. Go separate from their mothers. Twin brother, twin sister, same, they will separate from one another. Each one will take its own life. So I'm going to stay put here. There's quite a few cars coming in, so we'll see if we can all fit in to get to see him.
The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari. If you love to watch Wild Earth, then we are inviting you to join our Explorers program. For a monthly subscription, you will have the opportunity to win fantastic Wild Earth expeditions. Join our guides for a chat around the fire, receive weekly highlights from our shows, and much more. All the money will go to keeping these live safaris on air, which in turn allows us to escape into nature every single day. Our first Wild Earth Explorers competition has closed, and we have a winner. Congratulations to Chantal Sleep from Benoni in South Africa.
I felt totally overwhelmed for winning this prize. I will be taking my son with me, and I can't wait to share this experience with him.
Chantal and her son have won a behind-the-scenes Wild Earth experience at the magnificent and beyond Ngala tented safari camp. The prize includes a 3-night stay and a chance to sleep out in the unique Ngala treehouse.
I would like to thank Wild Earth for making this dream come true, and I encourage everybody to subscribe, to become an explorer, and stand the chance to win these amazing prizes, and so much more.
For this month, we have a brand new prize. You could be jetting off to Tswalu in the Kalahari for a 3-night stay at the luxurious Motsi Lodge. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply.
We've just raced around and we found the cheetahs and they're actually walking along the hillside here right next to us. There we go, there's Mom walking ahead and the youngsters are just off to the left hand side there. So the zebras chase the cheetahs, and I think the youngsters at some point chase the zebras, but the zebras have decided they've had enough of it now that the cheetahs are on the move. And now it seems they are moving quite a bit. I think this female walking ahead is looking for something to eat, but also looking for some shade. Look at these two youngsters. Also looking fairly skinny and hungry. Mom's just stopping every now and then, waiting for them to catch up. See, it's quite dense here, with longish grass. Maybe if there's a fallen over log or tree or so, they might try to get a bit of a vantage point or so. Sorry about the radio there for a moment. It looks like she's going straight to that little bush there to get to some shade. Oh yes, that's exactly what she's doing. Right, let's wait for the two youngsters to come and settle down with her, and then we'll reposition our vehicle a bit to see if we can get a bit closer and maybe a better view. Oh, the shade must be so nice at the moment. It is very, very hot here at the moment. At least 37 degrees Celsius. And you can see they are just moving between bushes that are giving them some shade, while still keeping an eye out on the horizon and on the hillsides for anything that might be of interest to them to hunt, but also looking out for any dangers, all those pesky zebras that was tormenting them earlier. See, it's just Mom sitting up right there, just keeping an eye out while the youngsters are lying down around her. One just popped his head up. But for now, while we try and reposition, we're going to send you over to Andrew, where he's got a relaxing leopard.
Thanks once again, dear. And indeed, it's always the best just to reposition, to take a better look like we just did here. This is another position we try and maneuver through so we can see his face of a beautiful Tingana. He was last seen feeding on that, finishing off the impala. By yesterday, he was done. He's still painting a little bit. So he still had a little bit of food in his tummy. Still a little bit of a shade in there. You'll probably move during the course of the day. Look for properly shade if it's ever too hot for him. Probably smelling something around here. Whether he's seen something, whether or not. We're at a water hole where there's a chance of animal species coming down to drink. Then he will be actually very much interested on hunting anything smaller that come down to drink in this water hole here. we're right on the eastern side of this dam, but at the same time, it's getting hot, where mainly some of the other species of antelope, they may want to drink before midday. Some prey species would surprise cats sometimes, run over them, and they get caught. So you see kill happen without any energy lost from that cat. Over. So yes, he's asking if this Tingana is an older leopard around here. Indeed he is an older. Running about 15 and a half, 16 years old. So he's an older cat around here, I think. When cats die of older age, especially with the leopards, where they don't cooperate in hunting, they don't help each other, since they are solitary, and then their condition actually lose quite quick when they're not able to hunt. Finally, they weren't able to do anything. And the last result is that that cat is going to die. But he's still strong, healthy looking cat over here. But he's also still hunts successfully. So we're going to stay put here. With only one in his lock, so I'm going to be sending you across to Devil with the cheetahs in the shade.
Yeah, these cheetahs came towards the little bush here, and we've just repositioned a bit where we can see Mum there in the back and the youngster in front of her, just lying down enjoying the shade, but still keeping an eye out on the horizon. The other youngster, actually, just before he came to us, was scratching around in the long grass just on the right hand side and has really climbed into the long grass. You can just imagine it must be nice and cool in there to try and get out of this scorching heat that we have here today. But they are not just falling asleep just yet, still keeping an eye out of what's going on around them, especially Mom looking around quite a bit. She has these two youngsters to feed as well. Look at this youngster looking this way and panting. See, its mouth is open and they're flopping down a bit. Bit of a yawn there from Mom. Maybe she's starting to settle down as well. So she's looking this way now. Those beautiful eyes. Veronica, you're asking if cheetahs sleep more during the day. They do rest and try and fall asleep a little bit when it's really, really hot like it is right now. But they do most of their hunting and are mostly active during the day. Most of their sleeping and relaxing happen is at night. There she's up. So she's now looking around, this female. Bit of a yawn there from one of the youngsters as well. And now she's looking this way again. still panting, very, very hot at the moment. So even in the shade, it must be nice and warm. And she's on the move. Look at that. So even though it's hot, they are nice and skinny. So I think she's keen to get a move on. Maybe she's not happy with this particular spot that they were resting in. Moving a bit along the hill, it seems. Just the one youngster still close to us here at the bush, while Mom and the other youngster is starting to move off. Just going a bit further up the hill, maybe to see if she can get a bit of a better vantage point up there. Anna-Marie, you're asking at what age these cheetah cubs will start to show interest in the hunt. So anywhere from a year or so, they'll start to show some interest. And like a year and a half from there onwards, that's when they start to look at maybe leaving their mom or so. But these two, looking at their size, they'll start to show some interest as well. I think they are not able to hunt by themselves just yet completely, but they'll definitely show some interest in it and maybe try and catch something small like an impala lamb or so. I think let's see if we can get a move on as well, see if we can catch up with them. It seems like they've actually gone and lie down in this shade just up ahead. But for now, while we reposition, we'll send you over to Andrew, where he's still got that leopard that is lying down.
Indeed, we're still here, dear Lord. So we haven't actually decided to move yet. And it's so cool just watch him. Because yesterday he was in a very difficult, thick bushes. And here, since when we talk about cheetah, getting their baby started to hunt with these leopards also, the mother raised the cubs and they get to learn how to kill things. Teach by mother, but sometimes when the mother leaves them in the cave, she went to hunt now, then sometimes playful come out to hunt lizards, birds. Sometimes they may get killed while she's not there. The mother is an experienced female. So also a lot of time when she lead them to a kill, this is how along the way out there, learn, see the mother how she ambush the prey. And then they take it from there. I seen Quarantine the leopard kill his first kill. With the Kuchawa, they were still together, age of, they were kind of like age of 2 years, and then they already gotten a duiker and an antelope. But they were playing with it. They didn't know where to start until mother returned and killed it for them. So these hunting techniques, they gotta have to learn from younger age. So Ladyman, I don't know if, can you bring that question again? Lenderman asking why, what would make you to leave Djuma and return back? So this could be a cause of maybe losing fight sometimes, which results of losing territory. And then of course you might be pushed in and out of this area, if is that the case. But once that leopard lost the fight, and then nowhere else to dominate, you're more likely to be nomadic male in the area. And he won't scent mark at all, because then he will be causing trouble. So best thing for that leopard, he has to always hunt, feed, but he won't have access to mate or anything, communication of dominance around here, or spraying chemical also. So a lot of time the territory change due to the power, because then dominating. So that's what it is. And then it makes them shift in and out of the area. Or if that leopard has such an amount of range, territory bigger, it will move in and out of the area quite often. So I'm going to stay put. In the meantime, I'll be sending you across to Mike with something interesting to tell.
Hi there, everyone. So we're just driving through one of my favorite parts of Pride Land. It's called Marula Lane. It's actually a gorgeous spot. As you can see, as we stop here, we're underneath the shade of all these massive marula trees. We left that area of impala clearings. Oh, there's a whole bunch of, should be something over here. Just to the left of us there, Gert, there is a starling going absolutely mental. I suspect there's a snake or maybe a monitor lizard on this dead leadwood that is causing these birds to become very agitated. There's a very typical alarm sound for these starlings, and they are very aggressive at chasing things like monitor lizards. I suspect there's a hole there. The monitor lizard is in it. Or a snake. See how low down they are. Now, leadwood tree, so that's a Burchell's starling. It's got that very long tail, but you can really see the iridescence and you can hear the agitated sound they're making. So they might do that for a snake, a mongoose, a monitor lizard, anything that would eat their eggs or their chicks. They wouldn't do it for something necessarily like a lion, because a lion is not really hunting for a small bird like this. Speaking of that lion, we did end up losing that lion. She headed north into some thickets and probably went over into the neighboring property. So we'll try again this afternoon, and hopefully she's still around. I really wonder what's here. This is a tree that you'd often see something like a black mamba climbing, because if you look at that leadwood tree, as you go up the trunk here, you'll see there's quite a few cracks in it and holes, and often they have hollows all the way down through the wood. I mean, leadwoods are well known to have lots of dead wood all over them, and this is not a living one. It'd be the perfect place for a snake to have set up a bit of a residence. I mean, squirrels often have their little homes in there as well, so it could even be that the monitor lizard or snake is trying to get to a squirrel nest. Interesting. Well, they seem to be calming now. Whatever it was, they might have been successful in chasing it off, because they seem to be less actively swooping in, trying to chase whatever it is. I'm going to try and move us back slightly to get a slightly different angle. Maybe we'll get to see what it is. It was sort of climbing up the left side of that tree there. It's been a really cool morning. I mean, from all that action we had this morning. Sorry, Kendra, I know you asked a question about this bird call, but I mean, I couldn't quite make it out. Maybe you want to try that again? I think whatever it was has been chased down to the base of this tree. Kendra, that's an interesting question. What is my favorite bird call? Oh, it's a tricky one. I'd probably say something like an African fish eagle. I know everyone probably says that, but it is quite an iconic and beautiful sound. But any of the big eagles, if you hear a crowned eagle or a martial eagle, it just gets you excited. You're like, wow, that's an awesome thing. Maybe a gorgeous bushshrike, which you've probably never heard before on the show. I'm not sure if they're very common in many of the places that the show is. You have heard it before? A pinda. Oh, fantastic. So it just goes like a lovely little double whistle. It's a bird that I struggled to find for a long time. I've managed to see one now in the last few years. Well, whatever it was, it seems to have moved off now. We certainly can't see it. So what we're going to do is keep driving down this road. So this road actually takes us to that big open clearing where that lioness was. As I said, she moved off. After hearing lots more alarm calling in the area, she went to investigate, I suspect. We had tracks of a leopard also in the area. So I think they were both there at the same time, probably both looking for that herd of impala. And then when the lioness obviously turned up on the scene, I'm sure the leopard decided that this was not the best place for it and started to move off. And as it moved off, I think it disturbed some other impalas that were a bit further away. And that got the attention of the lioness. But we had so many predators coming in. There was jackals that arrived there. There was hyenas that were there. So really, whenever there's alarm calling, everything that's a predator is going to come in and investigate, because there's always the chance of a free meal, especially if there's a smaller predator on the scene. Like if a cheetah had caught something, any of the hyenas could easily have stolen it from them. So really, really cool. There's lots of dead leadwoods in this area here. It's really one of the most beautiful roads. And what I love is that because it's a drainage line that connects that big open area to, Leopard Dam, it means that it's a highway for animals. I mean, we get so many different creatures moving up and down here. Winter, when they need water, you'll find things like elephants, buffaloes, frequently using this drainage line. I mean, we do walks with the students here, and the amount of time looking at a track or something on the ground, and then someone would say, oh, Mike, there's a buffalo, and then we have to just move ourselves a little bit out the way for the buffalo that wants to come down to the water to drink. We're going to slowly make our way down this road, and hopefully, just before the show ends, we might just find that lioness again.
So the duke's up, sitting up, scratching, looking around, or he's moving. I don't know, maybe this is all about maybe wanting to drink the water. Gonna have to reverse a little bit back. Probably it's all about drinking. Just kind of check out. Oh yeah, he's up. It's not all about drinking. So it's probably was all about moving out of that spot. He's not heading in the direction of water at all. He's probably looking for another shade. Oh, it's a beginning of a movement, but it's getting more hot. So we'll see if we can see where he's going.
these cheetahs have really settled down in this little patch of shade that they've got from this small bush. You can see Mom's even falling asleep there now. Youngsters are all bundled up together on the right hand side, just see the one's head sticking out. But Mom's the only one that's really keeping an eye out around them, looking for any sign of any other animals that's close by or so. She falls asleep every now and then, but still keeping a wary eye out to keep her cubs safe and sound. See her eyes just slowly closing a little bit, as she also tries to fall asleep a little bit. It's so hot that she's keeping on panting. Wally, you are saying they look very peaceful. I also think so, especially after the action that they had earlier with all the zebras chasing them and all the excitement of the youngsters chasing the zebra a little bit. Ooh, there's a bit of a cool breeze coming over now, which is so nice. And the clouds are building very, very nicely in the sky with it being so hot. Maybe there's some rainstorms on its way for the next couple of days. Who knows? Look at how she's just falling asleep. There's actually like a paw and a tail and everything on top of her backside there. All three of them just trying to get themselves into this little bit of shade. But they'll have to move later on as the sun moves over. This patch of shade is just going to get smaller and smaller. And I think they'll probably not try and hunt if actively with it being so hot, but she might move around a little bit, and if the opportunity arises, she'll definitely take it, because we saw how skinny they were earlier, so they must be nice and hungry. But who knows, maybe in the next couple of days we'll have some of the rangers come and look for them and keep an eye on them and see if they've caught anything. See her eyes just closing completely, but still lying with her head up like that. Oh, their head just going down a bit, and now opening the eyes again. I haven't seen this female for a while, so happy to see that she's still got her two cubs doing very well. Oh, she's falling asleep now, and it's getting really, really hot now. See how she's panting. So there you can see how much she sleeps. She'll fall asleep and close her eyes every now and then. But while these cheetahs are sleeping and resting, we are going to head home, and we'll see you this afternoon, same time, same place.